then actions began to increase. Then by that time, I think the Pacific Life community was forming, and it was both with Jim Douglas and Shelley were working and on that, as well as there were people from Canada as well that were involved. And I think and then there were a number of other actions by which, you know, we would do trespass, we'd cross over, we'd go over the fence at the old main gate, you know, that was during 77, 78, and 77 is actually when Ground Zero itself, the house started. And there was a collective of 7 people, Jim and Shelley Douglas, and then 5 others who were kind of the initiators of the Ground Zero Center there, and so that became sort of the meeting place for all the actions, you know, the gathering place initially, and so I remember, I think it was in 1978 or 77. I think it was 77 maybe. There was another action that took out. We were on a boat. There were about 10 of us that were going to take little rowboats and row into the base itself from a tugboat that was coming down from Port Townsend. So the tugboat came down and picked us up, and we got these little boats onto the tugboat. And then, of course, the Navy was pretty apprised of what we were going to do, although they didn't have the real meetings that they have now with the officials and you know. But they were out with their Zodiac boats and the Coast Guard cutters and the helicopters that were buzzing over us. And so, anyway, when we got opposite to where the base was itself, and they were just beginning to build the Delta Pier there, so there were, I think, 8 of us, or that took off from the tugboat. We got in our little dinghies, you know, they were fragile little things, and then we rowed into the base itself, you know, and we all had lunches, and we were going to have a lunch there on the base, and to our surprise, we saw all of these guards that were standing around there, but they were well dressed and had ties on and everything. We couldn't quite figure it, and he got up closer, and they all were from Pan Am. They were a Pan Am security operation that the base had hired Pan American, the airlines. They had hired them as security for the base itself. So when we were being arrested, you know, we didn't know whether we were going to be flown somewhere or flown out of the country, or we had all these security all had Pan Am little logos on their coats and so forth. You know, there was a real sense. I mean, we were all schooled in the fact of nonviolence, and this was to be open and so forth. But I think it was probably those that were sort of organizing the event itself or the action itself. I think they're the ones that kind of met with the officials, and I think that they let them know that this action was going to happen, you know. Yeah, afterwards that became very much after Ground Zero, that became very much a part of it. You know, became very much a part of meeting with the officials from Bangor, or meeting also with the law enforcement people, you know, and then also that included the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office.